Well, hello and welcome to our LeadDragon funnel building workshop. Today, we're going to be talking all things funnels and going through the funnel editor, how to make sure that your funnel is live. And either in this video or in the next, we're also going to be talking through things like making sure that you can sell things through your funnel, getting payments up and running, and even building out some workflows, automations, to go along with your funnel. So that's what we're going to be covering in the next couple of videos. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to jump in and we're going to get started. Here we go. All right. So hopefully everybody can see this here. Okay. All right. So here I am logged into my business demo LeadDragon account. And where I'm going to go first is I'm going to come down here on the left-hand side menu, and I'm going to go to funnels and forms. And this is where you can find the funnel builder. And so real quick, you'll notice that there are funnels and websites here. And so we have templates for both. We have, you'll see there's a bunch of different website templates and funnel templates. So just a real quick note on the difference between a funnel and a website. A website typically is something like an all-encompassing, like here's everything that we have to offer. Here's all of our products and services. Here are, all of, the about me, the about my team, our history, all that kind of stuff. So you can see that here, like the home about us, features, past life, all of this kind of the contact us page. All of that. And so that's what a website is. Typically, your website is going to be where your root domain is assigned to. The root domain being the domain that you purchased. Typically, you assign your root domain to your primary website. Now, a funnel is a little bit different. Now, they build exactly the same. That's the important thing to note here. So I'm going to be walking through primarily the funnel builder here. But the important thing to note is that they build exactly the same. The difference is really just in their functionality or their purpose, I guess you would say. And so with a funnel builder, the purpose of a funnel is you are trying to direct a contact or a lead to a very specific goal. That's why it's called a funnel. You're capturing them with some kind of hook or some kind of lead, and you're funneling them to a specific goal, whether that is signing up for your webinar, filling out the form with your lead magnets, so you capture their contact information, purchasing your special offer that you have for just that month or that short, period of time, whatever it is. That's the difference. That's why it's called a funnel. And so a funnel is not going to have like, here's all of my products, here's all of my services, here's all the things I do. That's not the purpose of a funnel. And so a funnel is hey, I want you to sign up for this webinar I have coming up for next month. Here's all the things about that webinar only. That's all that's going to be talked about on the page is this webinar. And here's the link to sign up for it, right? That's what a funnel is. And so that's really the difference between a funnel and a website. But again, as far as building them, the build process is going to be pretty much exactly the same. And so that's what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to use funnels as an example because if you look in your account, you'll see you have tons of funnels in the funnel template library here. And so that's what we're going to be covering today. I'm just going to choose one of these at random to use as an example. But actually, even before we do that, I'll go ahead and choose one. So we'll go ahead and do, let's see, this photography funnel template could be pretty, this looks nice. I like it. All right. So you can see here within this particular funnel template, there are 5 steps. You can think of each step as a page. That's what it is. But remember, in a funnel, you're trying to direct them to the final page. Like you're trying to funnel them from the home page all the way down to the final page. Whereas a website, it's just, here's all of the pages I have. And so that's, again, the difference. But here's a good, so we'll use this one as an example, this photography funnel template. So I just backed out of it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a clone of it. And the reason for that is because I want to keep a clean version of this original template. I don't want to edit over it and then lose that template forever. I want to have a clean version of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the right. I'm going to click the 3 dots and I'm going to click clone. And we will call this the let's call this business demo funnel. Well, that's good enough. Business demo funnel. There we go. We'll clone that funnel. All right. So you can see I click clone, but it's going to appear on the first page where we were originally. So I'm going to click previous, and we are going to give it just a second. It might be still cloning. In fact, I might need to here. If I click next here and then click back, I might have to click over to websites and click back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there it is. So I cloned the funnel, and so it appeared outside of the folder itself. And so just a heads up, this folder is used to keep things nice and tidy. So for instance, you might, as a business, be building different types of funnels and websites for other different types of businesses. So you can create different folders. So you might be working with pest control companies and real estate companies and dentists and whoever else, right? So you can create a folder for each one of those niches, and then you can assign the different funnels to those folders. So that's why it appeared outside of here. And just to show you how to create a folder, in case you don't know, all you need to do is click this create folder button, and we'll call this the demo folder. Click create folder like that, and we'll wait for it to load for a second. There it is. And then you can see I have this the demo funnel that I just cloned. And if I want to move it into this folder, all I have to do is come over here to the right, click the three dots, and click move to folder. And I can select the folder I want to move it to. I'm going to move it to the demo folder, and I can click move to selected folder. And it'll take just a second here. And then there we go. Look, and now it's all nice and clean and tidy. And so I'm going to click into the demo folder, and here it is. Here is my funnel that I just cloned. And now I am ready to start editing this funnel. But before we hop into this, one quick thing I'm going to mention is just how to attach a domain, because this funnel is going to be useless if there is not a domain attached to it. And so a domain is what makes it live, right? And so I'm going to show you how to attach that to a funnel. This is going to be the exact same process if you were doing it for a website, by the way. So what I'm showing you now will apply also to websites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the back arrow here. And I'm actually, before I start editing the funnel, I'm going to come down here to the bottom left to settings. And then I'm going to come down here to domains. Click on domains. And now you can see I have no domains in here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this green add new domain button here in the top right. And now for this one, we're going to call this, I'm going to say business demo.demoaccount.com. Now let me explain what I just did here. So the demoaccount.com, this is the domain that I own. This is the domain that I purchased. In fact, I'll come over here and show you. This is the domain that I have here in Cloudflare. I'll move over here to my DNS records. You can see I have a bunch of different subdomains and all that fun stuff. So whichever domain that you purchase, that is what is known as your root domain. And so the demoaccount.com is my root domain. Now, business demo here, this is a subdomain. And so with your domains, you can create as many subdomains as you want. A subdomain is just any set of words, letters, or numbers that are in front of your root domain. The only thing that separates them is this little period here. That's it, this little dot. So I could have done, demo 123 Q567, whatever it is. I could do whatever I want and dot the demoaccount.com, and I could add that in as a record, and that would be a viable subdomain for that funnel. Now, the reason that you would want to do a subdomain is, let's say that you have your main website, right? So the demoaccount.com, let's say that goes to my main website, and my main website has all of my, products or services or whatever it is that I do. But let's say I have a special offer just for Christmas. And I want to be able to, I want to create a funnel. I don't have to edit my whole website for the special offer. What I want to do is just create this quick 3-step funnel for this special offer, this special Christmas offer. And I could come in here and I could say, Christmas 2022.thedemoaccount.com. And I could assign that to that funnel instead of having to buy a whole nother domain. Because again, remember thedemoaccount.com is assigned to my main website. And so I can't assign that root domain to a funnel as well, because it's already assigned to my main website. But I don't have to buy a whole new domain just for this one funnel where I'm creating a special offer. So instead, I just create a subdomain, Christmas2022.thedemoaccount.com. Right. So that's why you want to do subdomains, and you can create an unlimited amount of subdomains. That's what's great about them. So I'm going to switch it back to businessdemo.thedemoaccount.com. And by the way, the process I'm about to show you is pretty much exactly the same if you're trying to connect a subdomain or a root domain. Again, root domain being just the demoaccount.com. Now, if I was just trying to attach my root domain here, then I wouldn't type in any of this stuff. I would just type in the demoaccount.com. That's it. All right, so here we go. You can see here below this, it says, please make sure to either add an A record, which is this IP right here, this pink IP address right here, or a CNAME record, which is this URL right here, flash.funnels.msgsndr.com. Those are the two different types of DNS records that you can use to connect this domain. Now, for a record, I'm going to use this, or I'm sorry, for a subdomain, I'm going to use this A record, which is this right here. And some people use the A record as well for their root domain. Really, it kind of depends on your hosting site. I'm using Cloudflare. If you haven't chosen a hosting site yet, if you haven't purchased a domain yet, I highly recommend using Cloudflare. In fact, I'll show you in a little bit in our help library. We have instructions on how to set up a Cloudflare account. If you have your DNS records in a different hosting site, if you want to migrate those over to Cloudflare, I'll show you. You can actually just easily do that by, we have in our help library instructions on how to do that. I'm not going to walk through them in this video, but we have instructions on how to do that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to copy this A record here. And I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to click the add. So I'm in my Cloudflare account for the demoaccount.com. I'm in the DNS records and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click add record, and the type is already set to A, which is what I want. The name is just going to be business account. Let me spell account correctly. There we go. Business account. I think I've spelled something wrong. Business, did I spell wrong here? Sorry, I just need to make sure I have spelled it, because it will not add correctly if you have misspelled names. I think it's good. Yeah, looks good. All right. And so I'm going to paste in my IP address. By the way, if something's not adding correctly, 9 times out of 10, it's because something's misspelled. That's why I'm double checking everything, because I've run into that mistake way too many times myself. So just a heads up. I'm going to turn off proxy. Now, if you're using another hosting site like HostGator or GoDaddy or something like that, they probably won't give you the option to turn on or off proxy. So just ignore this step. If you are using Cloudflare, go ahead and turn off proxy. And then time to live auto, that's good. Or if they make you choose a time, just choose the shortest amount of time. So this all looks good. Yep, all looks great. Click save. All right, so we've added our A record in to our hosting site. So now we're going to come back over here to LeadDragon, and we can click add here now. So remember, don't click add within LeadDragon until you've added the record into your hosting site. That part's important. It will not add correctly. So now I'm going to click add, and so you can't find it, which means I most likely spelled something wrong. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy this, because I think I'm just, oh, you know what? I did business demo here, and this is the same business account. See, my goodness. There we go. Business demo. All right, let's save that. This is why you double check things. All right, and click add. There we go. Yay. So the domain businessdemo.thedemoaccount.com has been added successfully. And now you can assign this funnel or sorry, this subdomain right here to one of your funnels or websites, either one. And again, this would be the same process if you're doing it for just the root domain. For just, if I was doing this just for the demoaccount.com, it'd be the same thing. All right, so I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna choose. Now you can see the one I just most recently created is at the top. You can scroll through and find the funnel that or website that you want to use. So I'm gonna use this business demo funnel, and I want the default step. In other words, what do you want the home page to be? In this case, it's already clearly labeled for me, and it's home. So I'm gonna click on home. I'm gonna click link domain. And we'll wait for the link. There we go. So you can see now my domain here is added in, and you can always test this to make sure that it's actually live and ready to go by just copying that subdomain, opening up a new tab, and pasting it in like that. Let's see. Now, sometimes it takes a minute or two after you've just connected a new domain, but here we are. This is the photography funnel that we have chosen. So you can see it's working. So now that funnel is live, it's ready to go. We are off to the races. So now I can start editing everything. All right, so I clicked back. Now I'm back here in funnels and forms under funnels. Here it is, the business demo funnel. And I am ready to start editing. Now, a couple quick things before we start jumping into the actual editor itself. One, you can see here, there's a list of 5 different pages. These are called funnel steps, but anytime you see the word step, just think of a new page. But remember that funnels are designed to go in sequential order for the most part. Now you can disrupt that order if you want to. Like if somebody clicks a certain button, you can have it you can have it skip pages and go to a different page if you want. But for the most part, funnels are designed to go in order here. You can always rearrange the order. Let's say you want to place this second instead of last. You could grab it. And by grab it, I mean just click on it and move it around like that. Just to show you how you can rearrange things. And you can see, by the way, you know that your domain has been successfully assigned. When you click on a funnel, you can see it right here. And in fact, well, a couple other things. You can also add a new page. So let's say you want a new page, a 6th page added to the template. You can click this button here and it'll ask you to name the page, and you don't even have to come up with a path. It'll auto create one for you, and you can edit it later if you want. Also, if you have a page, if you're coming from ClickFunnels and you want to import that page in, all you need to do is grab the URL from your ClickFunnels page, paste it here, and then it's going to pop up a little checkbox that's going to basically ask you to make sure that you didn't steal that page. Just check it off and click create funnel step. So that's how you create a new page within the funnel itself. And so on here on the right hand side, you can see right now we're on the overview section. Products we're going to be talking about here a little bit later, so I'm going to skip that for now. But publishing, if I click on publishing, this is where I can change the name of the step itself. So let's say I didn't want it to say home. Maybe I wanted to say, sales page or something like that. So I can change the step name, and the step path, just so you know, is that's going to be visible to people who actually visit the site, and that's everything after the / so the .com/ and then there's a pathway. That's what this is right here. So if you look up here at my excuse me, at my URL, I'm on the app.leaddragon.io, and then / and then everything after the / here is the pathway. That's what this is. So you can adjust this, and so you can say, instead of home, maybe I want to say welcome, right? And so I can change that to say welcome, and then I can click update step, and it's going to save both of those. And you can see now it's going to switch me back to the overview. And instead of home, it's just going to say welcome, which, by the way, since we assigned this initial sales page to be the actual home page, you don't even have to have this welcome pathway. You can just do businessdemo.thedemoaccount.com, and it'll go to the home page automatically. But also, if they follow this pathway, it'll still take them to the same page. And then you also have the option, if you want to create a variation. What it's going to do, it's going to create an identical version of that funnel page, but you can go into that, the secondary version of it, the identical version, and you can adjust things. The most common use case is most likely going to be that you want to split test different offers. So maybe in one offer you have, let's say, excuse me, let's say you have like it's $197, but you get 14 days trial period. But then in the split test, you maybe have no trial period, but you get $50 off if you buy in the next 24 hours, right? So you can split test it to see which one is performs the best. And then once after you test it for a certain amount of time, it keeps the stats for you, which is great. And you can look and see which one's performing best, which one's getting the most signups, the most opt-ins, or the most sales. And then you can choose the winner. And then at that point, once you choose the winner, it will delete the other page, the one that's not the winner. So that's how the variation works here. All right. So, and then last couple of things here up at the top, stats and sales. So stats are going to be where you can look and see for the funnel itself, page views, opt-ins, sales, and earnings / page view. So page views, that's going to be helpful for all of them. Most, in particular, the homepage, you want to see how many people are landing on your homepage. Opt-ins would be helpful, especially if you, let's say, a lead magnet, and you want to see how many opt-ins you're getting for that lead magnet on that particular page. And you'll be able to track that here. Sales. So like I know this says sales page here, but sales would only reflect on pages that have an order form in them, which is something we'll cover here in a little bit. But you don't need to worry about sales on any pages that don't have an order form. So for instance, like the about page probably doesn't have an order form. So in that case, you would ignore the sales section for the about page because nobody's selling something on the about page. And then earnings page view, that's just going to show all unique views and complete earnings for each individual page. Again, earnings are going to be relevant for pages that where you're selling something and things like that. So, and you can adjust over here on right here, you can adjust like the timeline. So if you only want to see the past 30 days, which is what it's set to right now, you can keep it that way, or you can see, I want to see for the entire year. So you can say, I want to see for the last year how this funnel has been performing for me, that kind of thing. Sales is going to show overall sales for now. Right now, we haven't attached any payments to it yet, but any products at all that you have attached to this funnel, it's going to track basically how many of those products you've sold through this funnel here. And it's going to show you the customer, the email, all of that, as well as the purchase date. And you can, again, adjust the timeline here. So you can see the last 30 days, last year, last 6 months, all of that. And then finally, the settings here. This is where you can rename your funnel if you want to, rename the overall funnel path. And so, we'll just call this business. Oops, we can't do spaces. Business demo like that. The domain, we've already assigned that. And honestly, that's the way that I just showed you how to assign a domain. That's how I recommend doing it. You can technically attach a domain or like build out a subdomain or attach your root domain the way I showed you before without assigning it to a funnel or website, and then later assign it by coming into a funnel or website in settings and clicking here and saying, I want this domain attached to it. That's a kind of backwards way of doing it. I recommend doing it the way that I showed you. Favicon, that's going to be for so you can see here like Cloudflare, right? This is their logo, the cloud with the star in it, whatever this is. You can see up in the top of their URL menu bar, they have their logo here. That's the favicon. And so if you wanted your logo to appear in the favicon, you can grab the image URL for that, and you can paste it here. And then tracking codes are helpful for, like, let's say you have you're running Google ads and you want to grab the Google tag, and they give you codes for the Google tag, so you can paste it in funnels, so you can see like how effective your ads are at driving traffic to particular funnels or websites. So that's where you would paste things, or like Facebook pixel IDs is another good example of that. You paste those tracking codes here to track how effective ads are and things like that at driving traffic to your funnels or websites. And if you make any changes, you want to click the save in the bottom right. By the way, this is also where you can delete funnels. You just click the delete funnel button here in the bottom left. All right, so I think I've shown everything having to do with funnels outside of actually editing the funnel itself. So let's go ahead and jump into the funnel. So there's two ways you can do that. You can either click into the preview here, or you can click the edit button here. But I'm just going to click into the preview to open up the editor. All right, so here we are within the editor. I'll show you a couple different things here within this funnel. Now, this is a very simple funnel page, which honestly, a lot of times, the simpler the better when it comes to building out funnels and websites. You don't want to overcomplicate things. As you can see, this is very short. It's honestly just, it's 3 different sections. So there's a global section, another section here in the middle, and then another global section on the bottom. To edit any of the individual elements within a funnel, all you need to do is click on it. So let's say I wanted to edit the copy here, where it says, "We see your world differently." You can see when I click on it, it's going to bring up the headline settings on the left. And now, obviously, I can just click in here and I can say, trying to think of a copy phrase for photography of like, honestly, this is pretty good. "We see your world differently." Maybe just use this if you're a photography person using this. But so don't take my copywriting advice on this part, but maybe something like, I'm just going to come up with something lame. "We shoot good pictures," right? Don't use this, by the way. This is terrible copywriting. But there you go. All I do is click into it and start typing, and that will edit the copy. And then you can see here on the left-hand side, this is where I can edit like how the copy looks, in other words. So at the top, you're going to see, and this is going to apply for every single element that you click on. So if I want to edit the button, for instance, I click on it, you can see it brings up the button settings. I'm gonna come back here though real quick and show you for this headline, so maybe I want to retitle this main headline. So I know that this is the primary headline up here, main headline. You can rename all the different elements here at the top. Opacity or opacity, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's just like how, if you want to be see-through, you can make it like a heavy fade, and you can see it kind of lets the background seep through the copy here. I'm going to go ahead and say none there so you can actually read it. And you can add text shadows and letter spacing. So I could add like a strong shadow. Actually, it doesn't really do anything for white, so you can't really see it here. But basically, imagine the old school, the Windows, what was it? I can't remember the name of it, like the Windows 98, presenter thing where it added like a shadow behind it. That's kind of what it does, not for white necessarily. And then the letter spacing here, you can just make it look awkward if you want to. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, but we'll bring it back to normal. But you can space out the letters more. I can adjust the alignment of the actual text. Now, the alignment only affects the actual element box here. So you can see this is the element box when I'm hovering over now. And so let's say I wanted this to be maybe a little bit like bigger. So let's see, what we do is we adjust the desktop, like the desktop font size if I want it to be bigger. So there you go. It's making it bigger, or that doesn't look good. So I'm gonna go and shrink it back to what it was. I can't remember what the actual size was here, but there you go. And then one thing that you'll notice here is that there's a mobile font size option as well. And so this is actually really good SOP here. Standard operating procedure is you always want to make sure to double check as you're editing things that it also looks good on mobile as well as desktop. And so the way to do that is you're going to come up here to the top left. You can see right now I have the desktop icon highlighted blue. If I look right next to it, there's a little mobile phone. So I can click on that. And you can see here it is. So this is what it looks like on mobile. We shoot good pictures. Now that looks fine, especially for a 4-word sentence. Typically, I don't like having hanging words, which is a single word like this. And so maybe I might play around with it. But see, honestly, I think it looks better the way it was. Or maybe you can do, you can mess around with it till you get it like the way you like it. But you can adjust the mobile size versus desktop font size here, and you can switch back and forth. But the important thing to note here is that you always want to make sure after you edit an element, especially after you edit a full section, is you want to make sure it looks good on both desktop and mobile before you move on. I've done it before to where I've built out an entire funnel before checking to see how it looked on a mobile phone. And then I realized, oh man, this looks terrible on a phone. I had to go back and rebuild the entire thing. And I cried. I don't want you to cry, so don't do that. Make sure to check constantly how it looks on desktop and then mobile. Just kind of switch back and forth, make sure it looks good on both. And also one other thing to note, let's say that you just, for some reason, let's say, we'll just use the same headline. Let's say for whatever reason, you can't get an element to look good on mobile, but it looks good on desktop. You just can't get it to look good on mobile. What you can do, see how we have it selected here, is you can actually come over here to advanced, and right here underneath visibility, you can see it has both desktop and mobile highlighted blue. That means it's visible on both desktop and mobile versions of this funnel. If you didn't want this visible on mobile, but did want it visible on desktop, all you have to do is click on the phone, turn it off, and it disappears. But look what happens if I switch to the desktop view, it's still there. So that's another option. That's happened to me before, where I've had certain sections where excuse me, it mostly happens with images or sometimes videos, where for whatever reason, I just can't get it formatted correctly to where it looks good on mobile while also looking good on desktop. And so I'll hide it on one or the other. And then just, kind of make do. So just to show you that as an option as well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back on for mobile, but you can hide on either or on both if you wanted to. So that would be how you can adjust the size of it and everything like that. And then from there, and by the way, what I'm about to show you here is this is all applicable to every single text element. So whether you're doing a headline like this, a subheadline like this, paragraph, bullet points, whatever it is, everything I'm showing you here is applicable all the way through, just to let you know. So, so here, let's say I want to change the font of this. Well, if I come down here to the typography type, you can see right now it's set on custom font, which is and it's set to Railway. But let's say I wanted something different. So what I can do is click on custom font. Now yours, if you're building this from scratch, especially, and you clicked headline, it's most likely going to have it set to headline font. And so you would just have to manually come down and click it to content to custom font. I'm sorry. And then once you're on custom, then you click on the font family. And just so you're aware, you have access to every single font that Google has access to. And so you can see here, it says choose from Google Fonts. You can drop this list down. You can see here is a list of just, 1,000 different fonts. Now, the downside here is that you can't really see a preview of what it looks like. So if I wanted New Rocker, that sounds fun. That's pretty cool. It's doesn't really work with this necessarily. And so, you might want to know going in what kind of font you want to use. Or if you have a branding guide, then that's already solved for you. But you can always just click back and switch back to your other Railway was what it was before. There it is. But just to show you how to switch the fonts, that's how you do it. You click on custom font, and you click on font family and choose a Google font, and you have access to all of these fonts here. And then let's say we wanted to choose the color. Now, one other thing to show you, actually, you see how when I click on this, I can highlight it, and up here you can see a list of different options for the actual text. So what if I wanted to underline this? Then I can just come up here and click underline. But you can see that turns it black. It's because here in the color options, here on the left-hand side for the headline settings, the underline text color here is black. And so when I underlined it, it turned the text black. So what I would need to do is come here and click on this and turn it to white like that. And there we go, problem solved. I can also turn it off, and it's still white because the main color is set to white here, as well as bold. So I could take this and I could turn it to bold, and it's still white because that is what the bold text is set to here. And so that is how you can change the color of all the different types of fonts, whether it's bolded, italicized, struck through, underlined, all those different options, or just normal. And then the icon I will show you here in just a moment. And then, of course, you can adjust the paddings for all this, as well as the margin. So if I wanted to drop it down a little bit from the top, I could do that, or from the bottom, I can move it away from the next element. That's what the margin is doing, as well as the padding will add padding within the actual element itself. So you can see this little box here. If I want to add more padding to the box, I can do like that, or to the top as well, just like that. Which, yeah, and so you can see the different options there. So that is for the main headline settings for this particular funnel page. All right, so we walked through the text elements here. Now, we're not going to go through every single one of the elements here, but just to do a brief overview so you can see all the different elements. The text elements here would include headline, subheadline, like you can see here, paragraph, which is where you write like a body of information, and then a bullet list. I will go ahead and add a bullet list just so you can see what that would look like. And so I'm going to change so you can see I click on it and it brings up the settings for it here on the left, and I'm going to change the color of it so they can see it. There it is. And then the icon color. So there's a check mark here that you can't really see until I change the icon color, which is right here. So I'm going to change that to white so you can see it. There it is. You can also change the icon as well. So you can see underneath the typography type, there's icon. So I'm going to click on that and I can make this whatever it is, right? And so this has to do with pictures. So let's see if I can find one that has to do with like photography. I'm not sure if there's a icon that naturally lends itself to photography. Maybe something, I don't know, maybe we'll just do, well, we can do the video camera at least. That's kind of like photography, right? It's video. There we go. And so here's some stuff, more stuff. And you can kind of build out a bullet point list like that. And then beyond that, beyond the text elements, there are the form elements. And so one of which is a button, and the other which is a form. So let's talk about the button first. So there actually is a button right here. So I'm going to click on it. This is the button element here. And the button can do a number of things. It can take people to the next step in the funnel. It can open up a pop-up that has an order form in it. It can redirect them to a different section of that particular funnel page. In fact, here I'll show you. When I click on it, you can see it brings up the button settings, and I can scroll down to the very bottom. And the button actions is the most important part. That's why I'm skipping right to it, just to show it to you, because this is where you determine what happens when a contact or lead clicks on this button. So in this case, right now, what it's doing is opening up a pop-up, which I'm going to show you the pop-up here in just a second, and how you can edit that. But you can see here, there's a handful of other options. It can redirect them to a different website if you wanted to. It can hide an element. So I'm trying to think of a use case for this, but you can have it, if they clicked on a button, you could have it hide like a video or an image or an offer or something like that. You have it scroll to an element. So this is what I mentioned earlier, where maybe you have a longer type funnel page and you want it to scroll down the page to where you talk about the details of your offer when they click on the button. Maybe the button says like, I'm interested or something. Step would mean that you would choose a particular step in that funnel. So if I chose step, you can see I have to choose which funnel step I want them to go to when they click on the button. And you can see here's the other 4 out of the 5, because this is one of the 5. And I have to choose one of the 4 steps. Or I can just have it go to the next step in the funnel, which would be the next step that's directly after this one. One click up, down, sell product. This is something we're going to go into more detail actually in probably the next video. But you have the ability to make it to where if they've already purchased something from you, all they have to do is click a button to purchase one more thing from you. They don't have to retype in their credit card information. In other words, it's pretty nice. And then these last ones are pretty self-explanatory. If you want to call, send a text message, email, or this membership, if you want to grant access to a membership offer that you have, you can choose that option as well. So this is all the different button actions. I'm gonna keep it on open pop-up. That's what I have it do. And then the rest of these, if I didn't want it to be white, maybe I wanted this background color to be, I don't know, red. And I could choose that here. I'm gonna keep it as white. And we'll call this the demo button, just to rename it to keep up with our SOP of always name our elements. Again, all this is similar to the rest of the elements that I've shown you, except when it comes down to, and then the text options here at the bottom. This is where you can choose where it says book us. You can say, I keep forgetting this is a photography funnel here, but you can, say something like, I'm trying to think of a clever term for book us is good. Or we'll just do sign up. That's pretty generic. Sign up, and I want pictures now. I don't know. This is terrible copy. Don't copy this. Don't copy this copy. All right, but there it is. And now you can see that the subtext is not showing up, right? It looks like it's blank. That's because I need to come up here and adjust the color options for the subtext color because it's set to white. And so I need to adjust that to black. There you go. Now you can see there's the subtext. Again, don't take copy advice here. There we go. So that is what a button can do. And also, in addition to that, since the button is opening a pop-up, I'll go ahead and explain how a pop-up is built. If you look at the very top of the funnel builder here, there is the pop-up option. I'm going to click on that. Now, this actually looks really nice. I don't really want to mess with it. And this is why you use the templates, right? You just really, what you want to do is just plug and play. Don't mess with too much. Just kind of plug in your branding, your maybe your colors, your logo, a few copy changes, things like that. But for the most part, this all looks really nice. But like right here, it says you're going to build this out as if you were building out a section within a funnel. So, where it says you do not have any forms yet, I can click on this. This is a form element. See, it brings up the form settings, and I can scroll down and try to choose a form. So maybe it's a sample contact form. You can see here it is. Where it asks for their name, phone, and email, and it says contact us. And we're going to talk more. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about it now, actually. And so with the form, we're going to call this the contact us form. And then you can see for the button actions, what do you want to happen whenever they click contact us? Do you want it to be the action that you set in the form builder? So whenever you build out a form, in other words, you set an action for when they click submit. And that action, you have two actions in the form builder. It can either be that it displays a thank you message, or it can be that it redirects them to a different URL. The other option is you can just add that form or embed that form to a funnel or website, such as this, like what we have here. We just added this form in as an element, and then we can choose the action down here with the button actions. So instead of use action from form builder, what we can do is say, maybe I just want to go to the next step in the funnel. Maybe the next step is a thank you page, or we try to upsell them into something, or book in a calendar, whatever it is. And so I'll choose go to next step instead of use the action from the form builder, since I'm not actually sure what it is. And so we'll do that. There we go. Yep. But other than that, you're going to edit the form exactly the same way as you would any other section of a funnel. And then when you're done, you just click save in the top right. And we'll talk about SEO metadata and all of that a little bit later as well. But other than that, that's it. And you can click the X button to get rid of the pop-up. All right, so just to quickly cover some of the other elements, and then I'm going to create a section from scratch so you can see what it would look like to build something out from scratch. So we've talked about text, we talked about the button and the forms. Blog, this is actually a newer feature within LeadDragon. Basically, what happens is within, if you go into the marketing tab, I believe there's the options you can start building out blog posts, and then you can post a part of this blog list your most recent blog posts, and then you can add that to like a funnel or a website and send out the link to people where they can go in and click on the blogs to go in and read them. And so that's a pretty neat new feature. Media, you can see the 3 different options here. Video, which there are a host of different types of videos. In fact, I'll go ahead and add a video option here so you can see. For the video type, so you can see here I have video clicked, which brings up the video settings here on the left. And then if you scroll down under video type, you can see YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia. That means you need to grab the URL from a particular video from one of those 3 sites, and then you can paste the URL here, and that video will show up. Or if you have so the custom embed would be helpful if you were to do, let's say you recorded a loom and you wanted to put the loom in here. When you record a loom, you can grab the embed code from a loom video and you can put the embed code here. You can also just use this as an HTML element, just to show you this element right here, this custom JS, which stands for JavaScript, or HTML. You can use this option as well to embed a loom video, or a different, any type of video that in which you have access to the embed code. And then HTML, same thing. And then hosted video, this is actually a newer feature that I'm really excited about. This allows you to, any videos that you've created on your own that you have saved on your computer, you can actually upload into the media library, which is super awesome. And then you can add it to your page. I'm actually going to cover this in more detail here a little bit later. And so I'm gonna say that for now, but very excited about that additional feature. So there you go. So that's the video element. And then image, I'm actually going to add image as well, so I can show you one other cool thing. So here we go. I added an image element. And you can see here the image settings are on the left because I've clicked on it. And if I scroll down a little bit to the image options, you can see this is where, so let's say you want to add an image of your logo. If you had the image URL for it, you could paste it here, or let's say you had it on your computer, your logo saved on your computer. What you could do is you could click on this button right here. Click on that. And it's going to open up your media library. So you can see here where it says My Media. This is where you can upload files from your computer. So I'll go ahead and upload that sample logo that I've been using. I try to remember the name of it. I think it starts with a K. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it. Well, I should probably look at the name of it first before here. Well, I'll find it later. Anyway, you can upload any images that you see here. Let's go with desktop. Let's try to find, maybe it's a screen, maybe I have it screenshotted. I have a picture of a ham. I think I can use. Let's do a picture of a ham. There we go. I don't know why I have a picture of a ham on my desktop, but I do. And there it is. So there we go. So I just uploaded a picture of ham, and now I can use this, and I can double click on it if I wanted to. And now I have a picture of ham on my funnel page. Again, don't take design tips from me. Or if I wanted to, I could click. So I'm still on the image settings here, and I can come back over here and I can click back into the media library. In addition to being able to upload my own files, I can click here at the top where it says My Media, and I can go maybe to Unsplash. And let's say, so right now for me, pizza sounds pretty good. So I'm gonna click on pizza. You can type in whatever you want here. So whatever you want to the search bar. Unsplash is gonna have just thousands and thousands of stock photos, stock images that you are free to use on your funnels or websites. So here's a bunch of just stock images of pizza. Well, this one's a hamburger or a cheeseburger. But sometimes Unsplash is confused too. But for the most part, here's a bunch of really awesome, high quality stock images that I can use. So I can double click on this one, and there's now I'm hungry. So there's a nice looking picture of pizza on my website that I grabbed from the media section here. I'll click back in here. You can do the same thing with Pixabay. Pixabay is going to have more like animated type stuff. Like if I click on pizza, you're going to see, I mean, it's like lower quality, but you're going to see more of these like cartoony type pictures, like this one here, which is cool. Like this works really well. And you can adjust the size, of course, of this picture coming here. And I can say, I don't want it to be that high. I want it to be just 250 pixels high, like that. Right. So you can adjust the pixel height and width here on the left-hand side. And you can even assign actions to that particular image if you want to. When they click on it, you can take it to like an offer that you have or your main website or whatever it is. And so that is how you can do images. So I'm going to delete that out though, so we don't, or at least I'm not distracted by pizza. All right, here we go. So click the plus button here again. So that's the media section here. The FAQ is just it's a pre-formatted, nice looking element where you can write questions and answers to frequently asked questions. Custom, here's where you can post the custom, if you have a code or HTML that, like if you want to embed an element that you built somewhere else, you want to embed it into your funnel or website within LeadDragon. This is the option that we would use here. This is the element. Survey, much like a form, you're going to build beforehand in the survey section. So again, that's going to be in the sites tab, just like where funnels is. And it's going to actually be right next to forms. You're going to see surveys. And so you can build out surveys that you can then embed into your funnel or website. And you would just choose the survey option here, the exact same way that we just embedded that form. You would do the same exact process here with survey. And same thing with calendar, actually. So calendars are built out in your settings. So if you are looking at your profile, you go bottom left to settings, very, very bottom left to settings, and then you can go to calendars, and that's where you can build out your calendars. You can build out as many as you want. We recommend building out a different calendar for each purpose. So like if you have onboarding calendars, demo calendars, sales calendars, whatever it is. And then you can, so like I can grab a calendar here and say, I want to put in my booking request calendar. You can see it's going to just automatically embed that calendar here into this page. All right, let's keep going here. Maps, this is going to automatically pull in a map of wherever you put in your address of where you're located. So I can put the map in here. You can see it's telling me I'm in, this is where I'm actually at because I didn't put in a real address for this business account, but it's, you can add in a pin for wherever your business is located if you want to. It's just an element. SVG, that is if you're handy with graphic design. I am not. You can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Here's the SFG settings on the left. You can grab whatever image it is that you want. Again, it needs to be an SFG URL, but you can grab that. You can throw it in here, and then you can open the editor, and you can start adjusting the SFG image here if you're handy with that. I am not. And so I'm going to leave it be. You can go to the raw editor too if you're handy with coding. But this is where you can really do some cool things with different images and pictures and things like that. Go ahead and delete that out. And then reviews, this is part of the reputation management tool. So if you go to settings and you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see there's a reputation management tool. This in particular has to do with Google My Business. So if you have a local business, or maybe you are helping set up a website for a local business, like an actual brick and mortar, a place that has a physical address. And they have a Google My Business. You can instantly add social proof to their funnel or website by clicking on this reviews tab, as long as you've integrated. So you'll need to integrate their Google account to that particular, to the account that you're in. And you'll need to integrate their GMB. Their Google My Business. And then if you've done that, then you can click this reviews element and it'll automatically pull in the reviews from their Google My Business and add it to their website or their funnel. So it's like instant social proof and it's pretty cool. All right. Now you're down here to countdown. So you can see here, there's 3 different timers, countdown, minute timer, day timer. So a countdown timer is helpful. Let's say that, well, as an example, I will just hide this bullet point list after a certain amount of time. So let's say with this countdown timer here, and I'm going to need to adjust the colors. So I just added a countdown timer. You can't really see it because I need to adjust the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do that white, and I'm going to adjust the label colors. There we go. So it's set to 1 hour and 50 or 11 minutes right now. But you can see here, I can adjust that to say I want the countdown to end, at December 6th and set custom time at, what time is it here for me? 9. So this is especially helpful if you have like a webinar sign up. Let's say you had that, or like a special offer, and you wanted it to end at 10 p.m. Oh man, it's not working for me there. Let's say 12 on the 7th. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's say you have this you wanted a timer that counts down until a certain point because you have an offer that's only available for a certain amount of time, or people can sign up for your masterclass for only a certain amount of time. That's where this countdown can be helpful. And then what you can do, you see this button here where they can click to sign up for it. Well, if you click back down to the countdown timer, you can go down. So you can see I just scroll down here to the expire actions option on the left-hand side. And I can say, when this countdown expires, I want it to hide, and then I can have it hide this button. So here where it says hide elements, I can have it hide the demo button. Good thing I named it, so I knew which one it was. And so whenever the timer clicks off, it's going to hide this button so that people can't sign up for it anymore. It adds that scarcity factor, that urgency, all that kind of stuff. So that's where that's helpful. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing with the rest of the timers. Or maybe you have it to where, people sign up for your webinar, right? So I'm going to eliminate this one. And instead of like trying to create that urgency, you're trying to let them know, hey, the webinar starts at, I have to change the colors here of this. Webinar starts in, oh wait, this isn't the right one. Hang on, I'll show you that one in just a second. No, that was the right one. Just kidding. Actually, so yeah, the countdown timer would be good for the webinar as well. The minute timer and day timer are good for if you have either a 24-hour like offer, or maybe you've sent out an email saying, hey, this is a super limited time deal I have going on here. When you click into the page, you'll have 10 minutes to decide if you want to be a part of my masterclass, right? So you can choose the minute timer. And I need to change the colors here so you can see. And you can see it's already started counting down from 44. But what I can do is I can scroll down. I can say 10 minutes instead of 44. And so basically what happens is whenever they load into the page, this timer starts. And you can say you have 10 minutes to decide if you want to be a part of my masterclass or not, because this is filling up fast. I don't have a lot of time for this. I need to know who's committed, right? That's an option you can do. You can also do the same exact thing with the day timer. You can say, instead of setting minutes, you can say, I want this to end at 11 p.m., which for me is in 8 minutes. So I'll instead say, I want this to end at 12 p.m. or actually, I can just change the time zone. We'll say, so we're in the Alaskan time zone here. It's going to land 11 p.m. So they have 4 hours and 8 minutes now. And I know you can't read that. Let me change the font here, or the color, I'm sorry. So you have till the end of the day to sign up for my webinar. That's it. That's where you want to use the day timer. But just to show you what it can do, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the minute timer here. And I am going to set this to, instead of 45 minutes, I'm set it to 0 minutes. Oops, 0, and I'll set it to 5 seconds, not 0.5, 5 seconds, just like that. So that when that 5 seconds expires, what I want to do is erase this button, make it so you can't see the button. So the expire action here, what I want to do is show or hide an element. And you see for hide elements here, I want to hide the demo button. There we go. And now you can also decide too, with the revisit action, what you want to happen if they were to refresh the page. You want to reset the timer, or do you want it to hide the timer and show an element, or do you want it to auto expire after a certain amount of days, or for a certain amount of days? Like, what do you want it to do? Well, I'll just have it reset the timer for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and show it so we can see it. Make it white so we can see there. All right, so I'm going to preview out this page so you can see what's going to happen. So I'm going to preview this out. So here it is. You can see 3, 2, 1, and buy button. The button and the timer disappear. Pretty cool. So that is what those countdown elements can do for you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this again. All right, last couple things. The blocks, these are really just gonna be more for stylistic thing. Like, well, the navigation menu, that's actually what's up here. So you see when I click on this, it's gonna bring up the navigation menu settings. So if you wanted a menu that's consistent across all of your different pages, you can create a single navigation menu, add it up here. And just so you know, when you do that, you can customize what all these different things say, as well as the logo here on the left. So that says Lens right now. If I didn't want to say Lens, you can see right here, the brand logo, I can change that to be ham. Again, I'm sorry for the ham, but there you go. It can be ham, or I'm gonna choose a better logo. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Let's go to Unsplash. Let's choose let's just type in photography. It's just that just doesn't look good. All right, here we go. Let's choose a better picture than that. All right, let's do this. Looks kind of cool. There we go. That looks much better, right? We'll do that logo. And then so you can adjust the logo itself, but then up here as well, you get the menu items. So let's say instead of people, places, about, contact, maybe instead of places, maybe I can click the edit button. I can have it say where we shoot, right? And then you can choose what happens when they click on it. You want to go to a certain step, you want to open a pop-up. And if you want to go to a step, which step do you want to go to? Maybe I want to go to the places tab, because that's where we shoot, right? And if you want to open in a new tab instead of just redirecting them, you can turn this option on, so you can click submit. There you go. So you can see it changed here. Now, what if I wanted, let's say instead of having it just redirect to a page that has all the places, what if I wanted to drop down a menu that has a list of the places where I shoot? Well, what I can do here is, you see this little option here, I can click add item, and at the bottom, add item, and I can say, let's say Houston as one of the items. And I'm not gonna have it do anything right now. And then what I can do is I can grab these little 6 dots. It's like 3 dots next to each other right here, 6 dots, and I can drag it under where we shoot. And I can move it to the left, or to the right, I'm sorry, just a little bit, to where it's underneath where we shoot. See how that looks right there? I can add another item here that says, Los Angeles, submit. I can do the same thing, grab it, and then drag that over just a little bit like that. There we go. So now what's going to happen is, when you can see when I hover over it, here we are. We got 2 different options, Houston and Los Angeles, under where we shoot. So that's another thing that you can do underneath the navigation menu bar, as well as adding in as many other items as you want to here. Just make sure that you set each one of these so that when they click on it, it takes them where you want them to go. That's the important thing. So like for people, if you want to go to your page where it talks about your photographers, just make sure that you click on the edit button, and you can see right now it's not set to go anywhere. So for people, we want to go to step, people, and then we click save, submit, like that. And then of course, always save everything in the top right. And I just got that notification that we're editing a global section. So one thing to note as well, you can see this is a header here, and this footer. When I hover over them, they're purple, except for this middle section here is green. That's because the purple sections mean they're a global section. In other words, they apply to every page in this particular funnel. So if you create a header and you wanted it to apply to every page in the funnel, in other words, we don't have to keep creating the same header over and over and over again, then you can just hover over it. So I'll do it with this one, because this one is not a universal, or not a global one yet. All you have to do is hover over until you see the green, and then you come over here to the left and you click on the little floppy disk. You click on that, and you can see you can either save it as a template. And so a template means that this is something that you're planning on using in various funnels or multiple websites, both. And so maybe you want to create universal heading that you want to add to every funnel that you make and every website that you make, then you want to save it as a template. Or if you only want it to save, if you only want to save it for this particular funnel, but not for every funnel, then you would save it as a global section here. And you would name it and you would click Save Section. So that is how you can create that you can build a section that you can easily then just add into other funnels or websites without having to recreate it over and over and over again, which can be a pain. All right, we're almost done going through the elements. Here we go. So I'm gonna click the plus button again. And so that was the navigation menu. The divider is just going to be an aesthetic look. So I can add a divider here. You can see here it is, and I can adjust like what it is width. You know, if I want it to be, I'll go make it white so you can see it a little bit. There we go. So it's more of just like a aesthetic look. If I want it to be a little bit higher, I can like adjust it so it's a little thicker, that kind of thing. I can make it dotted or dashed, you know, that whatever it is. And then progress bar would be like how far they're progressing through the funnel. Image feature, this is a good, I will show this, the image feature, because this is super helpful for like social proof. Let's say you have an amazing review from someone that you really want to feature or spotlight on your page. You could drop this in here. And again, it's so hard to see because it's not, it's all, so I'm gonna go ahead and headline color white so you can see everything, text color white. There we go. So this is where you could grab so the image, you could, here's the image options here. You could grab a picture of that person who left you the awesome review. And so I'm just going to say, type in avatar, see where that pulls in. Sorry, underneath Unsplash in the media library. So we'll say, this is the classic one right here. We'll say this person left us, we'll say her name is name. I can't think of a name. So that's what we're going to use, name. This business is the best ever, right? And so you can do like a featured review here using that image feature. That's really the main use case for this. You can also like feature products and things like that you have. You can do the same thing here, but that's for the most part, that's what people use this element for here. And then the final step here are the order elements. So you have a two-step order element, one-step order element, and order confirmation. So this is what allows people to purchase something from your page. This is actually something we're going to do a deeper dive into in the next video. So I'm not going to go too much into this other than to just briefly explain what they are. Two-step order form means that they have to fill out their contact information first, and then they put in their credit card information. 2 steps. Put in the contact information, press a button, put in their contact or their credit card information. Versus a one-step order form, which is all on one page. They put in their contact information and their credit card, and then click a button to submit all of it at once. The reason sometimes people use a 2-step order form over one-step order form is because you can do almost like an abandoned cart type workflow with a 2-step order form, where somebody submits step 1, their contact information, but then maybe they get cold feet and they don't go through with the purchase, or maybe they didn't know where their credit card was, and so they had to go look for it, and they forgot all about it, and they moved on with their lives. And so you send them an email like, hey, don't forget about this thing. That kind of thing. That is the reason why you can build out workflows based on them submitting step 1, but not submitting step 2. You can build out workflows that, you know, send them nurture basically to try to get them to complete their purchase. And then the order confirmation is just an element that you would add on the next page after they purchase something. That would, it kind of acts like as a receipt, like, hey, here's the summary of your purchase of what you just bought. That's what this element is here. All right, so that is all of the different elements. And that is just a brief overview of how to edit the different elements within a funnel. And in the next video, we're going to go over building something from scratch. So like building the section and the rows and the columns and the elements, as well as how to do things like payments and do like order bumps, upsells, things like that. So that's all coming in the next video. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much.